Okay, we ready? All right, today what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up our offsets, basically telling the machine where our part's at. Today we're gonna do this using one of these blocks right here. Just so happens these are sitting here, so we'll do this with one of these, and we're gonna pick up the top corner of this part. All right, we're gonna basically put it in this vise here in a second, and we're gonna pick up this top corner and tell it that's our origin for our workpiece. So let's go ahead and do that. First, I'm gonna load my edge finder, which is gonna help us set up to find our X and our Y values. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that set up. To start out, I'm gonna make sure that my RPM is set to negative 1,000. The reason I put it at negative, it spins it backwards 1,000 RPMs, which will make this kick out towards me whenever it actually finds that edge. So that's why I do that. We'll go to tool setup, and we're gonna basically just tell it, hey, we're gonna put a tool in here. Okay. And we'll just make a dummy tool. We'll tell it it's tool 10. Unknown edge finder. The edge finder has a 200 thousandths tip. Okay. We'll hit the auto button. We'll verify it's empty, and then we're gonna make a tool change there. Okay. So now it knows that's in the spindle, and that way it won't send it to the carousel and get lost. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come into part setup. I'm gonna hand jog over and get my part in the vise. Okay. I'm gonna put this 1, 2, 3 block under the part. I guess that's not gonna work. I have to get some parallels. Keep rolling. We'll grab some parallels here. All right. There we go. We'll use these parallels to hold our part, and we'll put it in our vise. Okay. Now we'll grab our vise handle, tighten that part up. We can hit it with our dead flow and make sure it's seated well. Okay. All right, so typically we'd want to make sure, like this part's come off the saw. I've got a big sawed edge on here. I'd want to make sure that's gone. So I'm going to hit that with a file real quick. Grab a file. We'll try to make sure I have all this stuff here ready for us whenever we do this for real. There we go. All right, we're going to edge find this block now. So we're going to turn on our spindle. It's spinning 1,000 RPMs. It's going in reverse, so it's going counterclockwise. And we're going to hand jog that over to our part. We will do the Y first since we're on that edge, and we're just going to feed into the part till we see the edge finder is going to stop moving as much. There we go. We'll reduce the increments in which we're moving, and we're going to look for that edge finder to kick out to the left or the right, and that indicates that we found our edge. There it is. So for our Y, we'll click on our Y offset, and we're going to hit store position. Okay, remember I talked about that edge finder has a 200 thousandths diameter tip. Well, we need to tell it, we picked up the edge off the side of the edge finder. We want the center of the spindle on the edge. So we got to do a compensation for that tip, the radius of it. We're going to come towards us 100 thousandths, half that diameter. So So I'm going to subtract 100 thousandths from this number right here, 0.1 minus enter. And that's going to pick up our edge. Okay? Now we'll do our X. So we're going to hand jog over an X. First I'll take it away from the part in Y. Come over to the side of the part in X and come back towards us. We'll flip our edge finder to where it's wobbling again, and then we're going to come into the part here. Okay, once it starts to true up, we go to a smaller increment. And like I said, I spin it backwards because that will make sure it's going to kick towards me. And it's easier to see, basically. When it finds the edge, there it kicked out. All right, we're going to store this X position. Now, last time we were on the positive side of the front of the part, we had to go negative Y to get to the edge. This time, with our right hand rule, we're on the left side of the part. We've got to go 100 thousandths to the positive in X. So this one I'm going to add 100 to. 0.1 plus enter. Those are our edge finds. All right. Now, to check that, what I can do is I can shut the spindle off. I'm going to raise it up in Z. Okay. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it to the origin here. So I'm going to do a manual rapid move. We'll go to part 0 X. We'll go to part 0 Y. And then if I hand jog that down slowly without hitting my part, because I don't want to run my edge finder top my part, I can see that the center of my edge finder is lined up with the corner of this part. And that's how I set my X and Y offsets.